Okay, where do you live, kiddo?
Bell Hill, St. Lucie.
Okay. What is your occupation?
Well, I am a fisherman. I'm a fisherman.
How long have you been in the fishing
I've
industry?
been in the fishing industry for the last 24 years or thereabout.
All right. How would you compare things now with how things were in the fishing industry years ago?
Well, there's a vast difference right now. Uh, Fishing conditions are not as good as they used to be, especially as far catching the fish is concerned. Things have slackened off considerably over the last, say, about 7 years or so. We see great changes in the fish catches.
Okay, could you explain then, or just clarify to us how things were years ago? Could you just explain how things were years ago that would make fishing industry well productive for people to be in it at that point in time?
Well, as I said that years ago, we used to catch a lot more fish than we are catching. Normally, the price was down. We catch a lot more fish, and then diesel was a lot cheaper. But now diesel is very, very, very expensive. And even you catch fish and believe that you have a good catch, and you have to take out the expenses for the day, you realize that what was a good catch years ago, you're only scratching the surface now. That is one of the things that really humbugging us. And then you have some fellas in the industry who are not too considerate and really do some nonsense sometimes, especially in my line of business. In my line of business, you're losing a lot of. I used to do a lot of trap fishing and whatnot, and you're losing a lot more traps than you used to lose years ago. You would lose one or two traps, but now you're losing 6, 7, 8, 9 and thing a season. So it's not, you have those fellas who do the trawling and thing with those cabin cruisers and whatnot. When they see boys, they just sail around them with the hope that they'll find kingfish and whatnot. And while doing that, sometimes you just don't see the pots again. And when that happens, it's a big loss. So, you know, that is one of the big, big problems we have with the trapping, then with the flying fish. You just since for the last 2 or so years, well, I mean, they've been dwindling off before that, but for the last 2.5, 3 years now, the catches really in. In most areas, especially those who day fish, catches ain't matching up to your expenses.
Okay, all right. Tell me what your problems are now as far as being able to moor your boat, being able to carry out repairs on it, and to be able to actually sell your produce. Tell me what all of your problems are.
Well, let me start first with the mooring of the boats. The mooring of the boats right now, we can't really say I have a problem with mooring the boats, right? In that there is a mooring, but the mooring is not the sort of mooring that we would, prefer, because for rough seas, there's always the difficulty of getting to the boat and then to have somewhere safe to put it, because where we moor about 150 yards out to sea, and you can't leave boats there during the hurricane season. Before times, especially when we had nearly all day boats in to the northern part of the island, we had no problem because boats used to moor at a place called Sherman, Sand. That gone. Then they started mooring at Six Men's. That gone as well. And then one of the most popular sites that we had that had plenty of sand was down in the trees and spikes down we call whitehead trees. And hotels and whatnot have taken over that spot as well. And so it leaves the fishermen now with virtually nowhere to adequately put up their boats when dry time, maybe the hurricane time comes around. And along with that, the space that they have now to work on the boats is not really too small. You have to work in some very, very uncomfortable positions. And that is for the smaller boats. For the bigger boats now, you have to go downtown and have your boats all lifted and whatnot downtown. And sometimes the wait is long. Right now, we have guys who would like to have their boats hoisted, and there is no way to put them. We have to wait. One of my friends, he tells me that he have to wait right now until the end of November because the Charlotte Draft is full, the Bridgetown Fishing Complex is full, and his boat cannot be hauled up at Consett that's about the next best place, and because it's too big for Consett, they tried that last year at Consett, and it so happened that it gave them a lot of problems in getting the boat because of the size, hauled up and launched back into the sea. And release place there, that is, a pretty nice place for working. But right now that is full as well. I went in there up to Friday, and probably every corner is a boat. Probably every corner is a boat. So, it's no way really to haul your boats up and work comfortable, especially at this time, because some guys fish right through the year, right? And then we have those who fish mainly during the flying fish season, and after the flying fish season comes to an end, they put their boats up, and they don't come back down until, let's say, mid-November or so. So when that happens, those guys who are up from, let's say, June, July, and don't come back into the water before, let's say, mid-November or whatnot, it means then that for 5 or 6 months, or sometimes more, you can have boats there on the beach or on the dry docks that is provided in Charlotte Draft, the Bridgetown Fishing Complex, or the Castle. You can have boats there tied up for a long period of time, and then those who want to come up, sometimes for a short time, 2-3 weeks, and do quick repairs and get back out, can't get in as they would like. So these are the problems that we face, and it's affecting the north more so than any other part of the island.
Okay. So in case of bad weather or in the event of a hurricane, where do they have for you to place your boats?
Well, right now, for those of us who operate from Sutherland's Hill, that's Half Moon Fort side, 6 men, Spikes Down, and as far up as Reese Bay, we must thank the guys inside Port St. Charles for helping us out. They have been a lot of help, but it so happened that now most of the facilities inside, directly inside of the marina, most of these facilities, the guys, the owners have moved into their properties for over the last 5-6 years or thereabout, move into their properties, so they have their yachts. So the sort of accommodation that we were fortunate to have back when it was being built and shortly after they opened, we are not fortunate now to have those facilities to operate from, and they help us the best they can. But we operate, we are all tied together at the mouth of the marina, and it's not the best. Sometimes I fear that with a real storm, that all those boats out to the mouth side might be in great difficulty and might end up losing some of them, if not all of them.
Okay.
But as I said, we must thank the guys from Port St. Charles for helping us over the years, and we hope they continue to help us until something suitable can be done for us who are suffering right now.
So you're really saying then that the fishermen in the northern parts of the island, like St. Lucie coming down Sutherland, St. Peter and the northern part of St. James, who utilize like 6 men in those areas, there are no real facilities for them to use then for mooring and doing repairs, and in the event of a hurricane, there is no place to really properly berth their boats so that they can be protected from the storms.
Yeah, exactly. There's no real place, and we need somewhere really to put our boats and to work. For instance, I have 1 or 2 small leaks I had to go overboard this week because I have a wooden vessel. I had to go overboard this week and put something they call Navico on the boat. Now, if I could come up and spend a quick, because I'm still fishing, and if I could come up and spend a quick 2 weeks and get back down, it would help. But now I have to endure with those who can't find mooring at the present moment, make dry docks at the present moment, and hope that within the next 4 or 5 weeks that something would work out and I could get down to doing it.
Tell me something. All right. What would you suggest to help solve this problem?
Well, there's a portion of land that we've been looking at. I looked at it and I spoke to some of the fishermen, voiced my concern. There's a piece of land which is located between Port St. Charles, Almond Beach Hotel, and the playing field in Spikes Down directly opposite the bus stand. And that land right now is some swamp land, and there's a channel that lets off the water from the swamp out into the sea. And I see it as probably the best place. In fact, not only the best, it's the only open stretch of land anywhere on the north. If we are really thinking about helping the boats, it's the only piece of open land that we have anywhere down to the north that we could look at and have facilities for our boats to be moored, for the sale of our fishes, and that would be a nice place, saying that you could dry dock, everything can be done there, and it's in the proper area because of the fact that people from Boscobel, Collin Town, Indian Ground, all to the north who catch bus, can easily leave the bus stand and come across, buy fish, and save us the congestion that we get, especially in 6 men. There's a lot of congestion in 6 men each afternoon when the fishing season starts. Policemen have to come sometimes and direct traffic and all of this. So I was speaking to some of the guys, and they all agree, and that's about the best place and the only place right now that we see open to us if we can get some assistance in having that spot to do our business.
In effect, then, you're asking government to come to the assistance of the fishermen
government, something will happen.
Okay.
Something will happen, because right now, all of these things, all of these little problems sometimes get people frustrated. And I'm sure there are many guys who would like to invest in the fishing industry and whatnot, but lack of facilities turn people's mind, especially now that we are going into, most of the guys now are going into fiberglass boats and whatnot. And you don't want to have a fiberglass boat, and messing around with it with thumping seas, and you can't use the crane, a tractor to haul it up on the sand and all of that. So you need somewhere. If you want the industry to go, you need somewhere proper for fellas to do all of these things that I have mentioned: the mooring of your boats, the landing of your fish, the selling of your fish, all of these things. You need somewhere proper.
Okay. All right. So, Mr. Clark, then, all right, what do you suggest then the fishermen all should do? Do you believe that there's something that the fishermen could do to help highlight this so the public will be made aware of it?
Well, the only thing I have is suggestions to the guys that we all sign a petition or something and get it to the relevant authorities and see what they can do. Because no one have come up with a suggestion, and this is what we've been looking at. And I think that if we do this, and see if we will get a hearing, and after hearing, some action.
Okay. All right, Mr. Clark, I thank you very much. All right, you enjoy the rest of your day, and we hope that the fishermen will get the land that they're looking at.
Well, thank you.